Hello there everybody! This time an expert builder called Demon Hunter shows his best tips and tricks for building. This way you will be able to make amazing looking houses. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So, how do you design your builds? Do you improve it in the middle of the video or you have a separate creative world?
Okay, first of all, Legendary, thank you for inviting me to this interview. So basically, I found the pictures on the Google from the house in real life, from the concept art, movies, and another games. And basically, I have server when I have plot for YouTube videos, and from there, each of my video is a need to take 3 steps. So first step is something that I call prototype, is basically where I build the house. Second step is to record the house, and record the tutorial step by step. And the third step will be to edit the video and publish on YouTube. So I don't improvise through the tutorial because I see exactly where the blocks are, so there is no need for that.
Yeah, I don't really use this method. I usually have a picture and then improvise it in the tutorial. But yeah, on to the second question. So, how long have you been on planetminecraft.com?
Okay, this is an interesting question. I was in Planet Minecraft, I've been from 2015. I first started as about myself, and I found it up by when I in 2014 actually finished the survival world. And back then in the Minecraft versions there are no too many objectives to do. So basically I found the Planet Minecraft, the website where you could post your adventure maps, which I really love. And I fell up with that and I started making map. So first I team up with a map maker team called G Team, and they start to give me tasks to create a amusement park. And when I was on a halfway of that build, I realized that I actually could do adventure map through that amusement park to create some kind of achievements. And yeah, I told them I want to create a map by myself, and they support me with that. And yeah, in 2015 or 16, I created the first adventure map that is still on Planet Minecraft, named the Hunter Park. From there, I decided to create one more map, but bigger, better. I learned the command blocks and get better at building. So one day I asked my 2 friends, they are going with me to school, would you like to help me with the map? And they accepted, and from there is a one team production. There from that day, one team production is born, and we started creating the map. But through the time, we decided to stop because most of us are teenagers back then, and the school exams and things stop us to work because the map was really big. And late last year, 2019, we again start with a map making team, and currently we have about 50 members, really experienced command blockers, builders, and 3D modelers that are working on adventure maps. So yeah, this question gets a little bit longer than I expect, but yeah, that is the answer.
Hey, it's okay. It's quite interesting that you have complete build team. Yeah, okay, so into the third question. I see you mainly do medieval/fantasy builds, but what is your favorite style to build in?
Well, I guess in your question is answer medieval and fantasy style is my favorite because again, back in 2014, there are not many blocks that we could use for modern style. I mean, they add now in these previous versions, they add a lot of stairs and slabs with the different materials, but back then there was most material like wood, which are good for medieval and fantasy. And basically because of that, I started to build most of the builds are in a medieval and fantasy styles. So yeah, that is my, I think, answer for that. I mean, I could build a modern and apocalypse rustic style, but I think the best fit for me is a medieval and fantasy style.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that Minecraft has also a really medieval-ish, fantasy-ish theme.
Yeah, definitely.
And stuff. Yeah, okay, so I never really built in fantasy style, so it would be new for me too. What would be the most important trick that people forget when they build a fantasy house?
Well, this question is a little bit like tricky because most of the people like are confused. Is the medieval saying to fantasy? Of course, is not because I could told you, let's say about fantasy medieval theme, because fantasy, when you say word fantasy, I think the fantasy is connected to a lot different styles, because when I told the word fantasy, something that is imagination in your head. So basically, if I say let's together build a fantasy house, so maybe you will like think about medieval fantasy theme, creating using, I don't know, about stone blocks, I don't know, wood blocks. Maybe I'm gonna have, but I have like different style. When I say fantasy, I'm gonna maybe use more concrete and stuff like that. So basically I can't tell you the exactly question of the fantasy because it's something that came up from your imagination, and each of us are different, and each of us are see the fantasy style a lot different. But what I could tell you when I use the fantasy medieval style is when I creating the roofs, make sure you create as much as you can roofs to be curved, not to be straight roofs, and always try to add some kind of magic part to your builds, because that is how I see the fantasy, is to have something magical, or you could use particles if you have access to command blocks. If not, then a lot of custom, a lot of the color pane glass. So it's basically to create really cool like magic effect if you use like red, orange and red stained glass. If you combine, then you could create a really cool like magic effect around your buildings. So yeah, basically that is my answer to your question.
Yeah, absolutely, I can agree. Okay, so thank you for coming to this interview, and also people watching this, please check out Demon Hunter's YouTube channel, and also tell them and me in the comments what should we do together next time. And goodbye, see you in the next video.
Thank you for having me. See you next video, guys.